Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, I'm just wrapping up the week here on a Friday. Don't know what day this will come out, but my guest just left. That we're here for 3 nights. Left the house really nice, so I don't have a whole lot of work to do before the next guests come next Wednesday. And the next guests coming are actually friends of mine, so it'll be kind of nice. I'll have some people here for Thanksgiving, and we'll do something vegan. I'm not sure if we're going to get elaborate and make something or just have some fruit together, but it'll be nice to have some vegan peeps here, some vegan friends for the holiday. Anyhow, even though the guests have left, I'm done. I'm staying. I'll use the house here. I'll use the kitchen a little bit, and I'll probably go in and check out the news and watch a couple of things on TV. But I'm staying at the cabin. Love it up there. I get more done up there. I get more fresh air up there. I mean, not like this house is really like closed up. There's no air conditioning, but I tend to be inside with these doors closed a lot more. When I'm up at the cabin, the door's open all the time. I'm in and out. Dog can come and hang out with me. So yeah, I'm pretty much, as long as my internet hangs on, I'm staying at the cabin. It's great sleeping up there. Just thought I would finish off the week, like I say, and I don't know when you're watching this, talking about another a raw vegan mistake, a big mistake, in my opinion, in the way that I do this lifestyle. Like I say, this is just always my 2 cents worth on the approach that I've used on this lifestyle that I'm pretty happy with, that I've felt like it hasn't been very challenging for me. I haven't hit a lot of speed bumps, that have like derailed me. I feel happy, healthy, balanced all the time. So, like I say, just take what you will from that. I'm not necessarily preaching to you, but it's kind of like when somebody asks my approach on something, I kind of have to throw in what my philosophy on certain things are, because I can't necessarily think outside myself and do it in somebody else's way. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but anyhow. But it's the fat. One of the biggest mistakes I'm just seeing over and over and over, or maybe I'm just like becoming more aware of it lately, or maybe I'm seeing more comments or getting more questions, or just seeing little things and things that people say, maybe even not directly to me, that's just like, no, 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 no. People are like, okay, well, I got this and that and the other, and they're like, people are eating 2 and 3 avocados in a day. It's the fat. I mean, I've said, it's funny. There's people that don't even do this lifestyle that'll say things to me, which I kind of expect. People that aren't vegan, people that aren't high carb, people that don't know anything about this lifestyle. Sometimes I'll mention my fats around them, and it's like, yeah, limiting them, and they're like, oh, well, it's all good fat. What do you mean? Like they think I'm not going to limit. Like if it's good fat, you can just eat whatever you want to. But no, you can't. I've been pounding home that message lately in videos. I did a video on fat recently. I did a video on weight loss. And I talked about how, I'm sorry, you can keep telling yourself what you want to, but there's people that aren't getting the results they want to. There's people that aren't releasing the weight. There's people that are having blood sugar issues, and they just won't get on board with the fat thing. Like I mentioned in another book, reading this book, 80-10-10, I'm not a full-on 80-10-10 person, but I really like those numbers. I'm not saying you have to stay at 10 all year round, and I'm not even saying, I'm not even debating you need to be at a certain number. Even people, I've told you, I go as high as probably 15-18% sometimes during the year, but I think I'm talking about when you're really getting into high fat. How many avocados should I eat in a day? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a rare occasion, 2 or 3, 4 times a year, that I get really good avocados, and I just am in the mind place, and I just decide, ooh, you know what, I'm going to splurge a little bit, and I'm going to eat 2 avocados tonight. But that doesn't happen very, very often. I rarely go over 1 avocado, and a lot of the times when I do an avocado, if I do a full avocado, I haven't used my seeds earlier in the day. Now, I'm not a fanatic on that. Like I say, I go up and down with it, but some people are just like way off the charts. When you're eating 3, 4 avocados in a day, I don't know, maybe there's some body chemistry and some methods where that works, but that's not within my experience, so I don't even know how to really address that. But yeah, fat's one of the big 3, having too much fat in your diet. I don't really get into, you know, like I know a lot of people are hardcore on preaching the oil thing. I don't use oil. I don't recommend oil. I'm not like I'll just, you know, like railing against it all the time, but it's concentrated calories, and that's one of the things. Most people that are using oil, let's take the debate out whether you should use oil or what you shouldn't use oil. Most people, even that if they use oil, they're trying to stay fairly low fat. Well, unless you're just using very, very minute amounts of the oil, they're so dense, they have so many calories in them and so much fat that it's very hard to use the oil and stay low fat, or even to, you know. So that's it right there. That's it in a nutshell. If you are having problems on this lifestyle, from weight issues to blood sugar issues, I just really implore you to look, you know, examine yourself. You know, I can't tell you this is exactly how much fat you need to eat. This is what you need to do. People live in different places. People have different requirements because of the climate. I mean, I know that you do need to go up. I mean, it's just common sense that you're going to eat a bit more fat in the winter than you are in the summer, especially if you're in a place where you get cold weather. But you're still not going nuts with it. The fat, you're never going to get there with a high fat diet. And you know, this goes back to the other stuff too. I love this one. Everybody thinks they're an exception. Everybody out there is an exception, or they're somebody special. You hear it from the meat eaters. Well, my meat, I have a hard time giving up my meat. I love my meat. Oh, I have a hard time giving up my cheese. Well, I like my fat. I like my avocados. When people are saying this, do they think they have some special set of body circumstances? I mean, I tell my story over and over, but it's almost like, and yeah, I probably do sound like the cranky old man that I am sometimes. It's like, or look at me, I was a wreck. I mean, it wasn't like I came from, you know, I didn't like come from hippie parents growing up in the 60s and 70s just eating vegan and fruits and plants all my life. I've been on the other side. I love fat. I loved the meat. I loved cheese. I loved blue cheese. I could almost shoot blue cheese into my veins. When I had a salad, I shudder to think about like the amounts of blue cheese I've used on salads in the past. So I like that stuff. I loved chicken wings. Somebody asked me about that recently in a comment. I said loved as in the past. I'm not eating chicken wings by any chance, but I loved fat. I loved it, loved it. In fact, fat was my thing. Like I always said, like sugar, you know, I didn't have that big of a sweet tooth. Like for me, if it was always fat and salt. But you just do it. It's like a drug. It's like somebody that smokes crack and says, well, I can't give up my crack. Well, there's millions of former crackheads out there that would say differently. It's a process. You cut things out. This fat, as long as you keep eating those 3 or 4 avocados a day, as long as you keep eating high fat every day, no, you're not going to just miraculously wake up one morning and all of a sudden you don't have an urge for fat. You have to work on that. If it's a gradual taping off of lowering that fat, you do it little by little by little. Stop waiting for magic to happen. I talked about that in the weight loss video. There ain't no magic out there. You got to do the work. You've got to make the lifestyle work for you. And I mean, honestly, I'm sure there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's eating high fat and is absolutely thriving, because bodies are different, but they're not that drastically different. There are sort of universal rules that kind of govern the large majority of us. So if you're not getting the results you want on this lifestyle, if you're not losing the weight, if you have the blood sugar issues, or you know, if you're just not stable on this lifestyle, look at that fat. Be honest with yourself. Evaluate how much fat you're really taking in during the day, and think about lowering it. That's just it. I think fat is one of the biggest problems people have on this raw vegan lifestyle. And one last thing to finish it off, it just goes back to the obsession with always being raw. I think people will sacrifice a lot of times. To hold off not eating cooked, they'll jack up the fat. It's almost kind of a pleasure trade-off. Like somehow the high fat will give you that comfort that the cooked food does, but yet you can stay fully raw and you keep the badge. So anyhow, just my 2 cents worth. Hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button, and I hope you are having a wonderful day. See you guys. Peace.